Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready for another episode of Bring the Pain! Ooh, yeah! For another Ultra Contrarian Show. Dig it? Yeah! What's up, Fuego Steve? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's a good day, and we got football tomorrow.
Saturday. We got football, but we got UFC right now. We got the UFC. I'm wearing my Fight Club of shirt, or Fight Club of Pain shirt, because you know, I want all of my fighters to win. I got some really good picks. I'm already pretty sure Thayanara already won. She looked like she was kicking the heck out of her opponent. So we're just gonna stick with that. So like let's just go with that. And then of course probably the second fight's already in right now. But we're here to talk NFL DFS. What the Ultra Contrarian Show is I kind of give out cash game and cash gate plays, and then Steve fills in with GPP plays, and then at the end he gives out his Fuego Pick of the Week along with his core four, and then a lineup, as well as at the end I give out my Ultra Contrarian Lineups, both one for FanDuel and DraftKings. Both are 2-1 right now, struggling along but doing good, just having to play the cash game lineups, but nothing big hit yet. Close, but not cigar. And then, Steve, I know it's been about the same for you.
Yeah, the first week in NFL, one lineup, I did, hardly, I didn't play much at all, but it did really well. And the past 2 weeks, depending which night, I always say my original name instead of Fuego Steve was Short Slate Steve. I love the short slates. Yeah, Short Slate Steve before it became Fuego Steve, because I love the small slates. I love the single games. I love the showdowns. But the two, my full day NFLs did not do well. I hit on some picks for sure. But then I did a little bit better in some of the night contests and things like that. And then of course yesterday I was doing well in WNBA, but people need to get in there. Before that, I'd won like several days in a row in the WNBA playoffs. So you need to get in there. I don't do articles, but I put my lineups in Discord. It's usually a DraftKings GPP lineup, and I tell you who I think's going to do. And if you ever have any questions, whether you're playing any of the millions of sites there are now, who's going to win? We still have a couple weeks left. The WNBA playoffs, let me know. If you just want to bet on a game, you want to know the over-under, get to me in Discord, and I will help you out.
Yeah, so what he's talking about, of course, is a subs-only Discord at Dr. Roto, so if you're not a sub yet, use code word WIN, join today. You will become a rich friend. And he's talking about the WNBA and the NBA. Now it's coming around. NHL started, and now we have football already full swing. UFC got huge. UFC 320 event next week. This next week is huge at Dr. Roto because there's so much content going out between articles, both lineups and plays in the subs only Discord that you don't want to miss a beat, everybody.
And not to interrupt, I guess I didn't. I'm gonna be back for NBA, so watch out. Okay. NBA starting up soon. Now we say the official NBA doesn't start till Christmas. But there's already preseason games. I'm already paying attention. I will be writing articles, not just putting in Discord. So get ready, because the NBA is coming up very quickly. So once the WNBA and the baseball season are over, we're right into the NBA and the hockey season and all that, and UFC's all year. So, golf's all year. So get in there, sign up. You can also, so anyway.
Yeah. But yes,
now I'm getting excited for NBA. But let's talk football. Let's
talk it. Let's plug a few other shows. Last week, Danger and a couple of the other guys, Trevor, Lou, started any given entry that's going to be geared towards single entry tournaments. And then of course they brought out the first Rise and Grind, where they look at the weekend review and then kind of look at a preview of the next following week. So that's kind of 2 new podcasts, exciting podcasts at Dr. Roto. So amongst all of the Bring the Pain, amongst all the UFC, of course, Dr. Roto will be live answering your start sit questions and DFS questions tomorrow in the Subs Only Discord, only at Dr. Roto. You got to join. So yes, you're right. Let's get to the main slate. Let's get ready to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, first off.
Oh, and just a reminder, everyone. Just a reminder, when I go dark, I'm doing it on my phone and looking at my DraftKings. I'm mainly playing DraftKings DFS, but you can hit me up with other questions as well. Go ahead.
There you go. Yep. Let's get that out the way because we don't want to confuse anybody else at that. Anyway, and it gives you guys a little break. I'll make you right. But quarterback Patrick Mahomes, everybody's thinking about him. Right now, Fuego Steve is sweating about him because he thinks his boys, the Baltimore Ravens, is going to get lit up by our boy Joe Cool in the making. Patrick Mahomes is cool.
Let's not get crazy now. Let's not get crazy. But go ahead.
6,000 on DK, 7,800 on FanDuel. I'm going to be playing. Nobody's going to be on Patrick Mahomes. They need to win this game. And after we saw Andy Reid give Travis Kelce a bro bump, now they're going to show up and play. But also, the Ravens are coming in with I would say a knack on their shoulder, a nick on their shoulder, but they seem to keep dropping the knack or the nick or the football because Derrick Henry keeps fumbling, and it's destroying the Ravens' chances to win these games. Steve, how do you feel about that, and how do you feel about Patrick Mahomes being one of my lock plays of the week?
Well, I love it. It's a great play. Okay, but I tend to disagree with you a little bit. I think a lot of the pros are going to be on him. I think a lot of the big time players they're going to be on him. So I think he may be a little higher owned because Baltimore defense is again not off to a good start. They've been letting up. It's at home. The loser of this game. I can't believe I'm saying it, but Kansas City Baller, the loser of this game is going to be 1-3. Big difference between 2-2 and 1-3. Now, I think they both can still make the playoffs. KC, I think, is on the downside, and I think, but it's crazy to me to think that Kansas City or Baltimore is going to be 1-3 right now. I think he's going to have a great game. And
that's
now,
nuts.
Yeah, I do think he is going to, and at $6,000, like you said, is a great price. But
that's what I'm looking at, man. I mean, when you take a step back, so when I look at it all, look, first of all, Josh Allen's going to be my guy. He's going to be my guy, right? So when I go down to mid tiers, everybody's going to be looking around. They're going to see Mahomes right there at 6,000. They might not go with that. They might be looking at somebody like Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is going to pop on a lot of simulators. Plus, a lot of people are looking at the Bears versus the Raiders to go over. And on top of that, Gianti himself.
I like that play. Yeah, I like that play too. And not to interrupt, but
no, you can get you. This is what the show's about. Let's go.
Yeah. So right there, you're talking. Look who's right around 6,000. You started with Mahomes in your cash game. All right, I'm going to talk about my GPP here in a second. But you got Stafford, Williams, Jones, May, Geno Smith going against. He's still playing right against Vegas. And then if you go up a little, Purdy, Herbert. Hey Bear, Herbert. There's a Seinfeld joke. Goff. They're all in that 6,000 range, and those are great plays. And if you look at the top, do you have to play? Do you have to look at? And if you also look at the DraftKings, so I'm playing DraftKings. Like I said, look at the DraftKings averages: 25, 27, 19. Well, that Daniels is out. 22. Mayfield is going to play. If you're worried about the questionable tag, he is going to go. 20, 23, 18, 20. All these guys are averaging 20-some points. So why do you have to pay up for Allen or even my boy Lamar Jackson, who I do think is going to have a good game? I don't, once again, think you have to pay up for them when you can pay in that range. And I'll just tell you right now, my GPP play is Stafford. It's at home. At least right now, it depends. I'm going to think about it, but he had 33 attempts. He didn't complete 33, right? 33. He didn't complete a ton, but I'm going to pair him up with a receiver I'm going to mention later. Indiana's coming in. But I like the Williams play. I might switch it up, and I will pay attention in the Discord because just everyone. I mean, in this $6,000 range is great. But right now, I think no one's going to really be on Stafford. Indy's got a decent defense. So at my GPP play at 5,900 Stafford, but you could go any of those guys, Mahomes, Jones, and remember when you do pair him with the receiver.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. Actually, I don't think anybody's going to be on the Rams. That's actually going to lead into the running back section of this. So we might as well just get right to it because, that's the next step. It's Kyren Williams. I feel the same thing that a lot of people aren't going to be targeting Kyren Williams. I think that they think that Kyren Williams at 6,300 on DraftKings. Now on FanDuel, the 7,800 tag is a little up there, but that kind of helps if you come down a little bit. But the 6,300 on DraftKings for me, that's like almost criminal for a guy that's getting near 20 carries a game. I'm putting all my money. Plus, at some point, Kyren Williams is going to break loose. He's going to get open. He's going to go over 100 yards, and he's going to have one of those 2-3 touchdown games. When that happens, and the Rams are coming off of just getting punked, when that happens, you want to be aboard Kyren Williams. How do you think about that?
Yeah, I like him a lot. Let me get back to my lineup. It's a great play. Remind me, right at 6,300. I mean, again, going against Indianapolis at home. I like the Rams in the game. It's a good play. Look at the other guys in that range. The 6,200, Kamara. They're all those. I don't know. I think Kamara's going to do well. But Williams, Irving maybe, and then you start getting up a little to the higher end guys. But that's a great play for a cash game for sure.
So what running back out of maybe that thing, or what running back is kind of tickling your wing this week? Tickling your ring, brother. Ooh, yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit earlier. I thought about going Henry. He has a chip on his shoulder. I thought, I thought about going Robinson again. That may change, but Washington does have a big defense. And we said, please, we said it last time. You can play Robinson every week. We have no problem. He didn't even have like a quote unquote great game last week. And what did he do? 16 fantasy points. So, but I'm not going to pay up that high. You could go Gibbs, but between Gibbs and Montgomery split, that always worries me a little bit. And Cleveland's got a decent defense. Barkley, I like him. I just don't know if he's lost. I'm not saying he's lost the edge. But he's got his championship now. They're going against Tampa Bay. I think you could play Barkley. I'm definitely going to play. I haven't played him yet, and he's going to have some big games. He's still getting a lot of points. Right. But if you drop down to a guy that I think maybe you're going to talk about is Cook. Cook's going against the 26th ranked defense. He's got 21, 29, 23, or 23 DraftKings points in the last 3 games. He's got 53 attempts for 248 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 94.7 yards a game, 24.8 DraftKings points, and going against the 26, he's had 13 attempts the first game, but he caught what was his targets? 5 targets, 5 receptions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's been on.
I've been saying this all season, and you know it because we've been preaching it on here. He was 4.5% owned 2 weeks ago. And people think I'm like, what are you doing? And he was 6,000 men practically. Now he's up to 7,100. We're talking about going up. I mean, this week you could go mid-price for everybody, and you will be floating pretty. There's no you don't have to pay up, at least on the cash end. So that means the way I'm building this lineup, this also helps you think that, well, on a GPP side, maybe paying up for Amon-Ra St. Brown might help out or something like that. And guess what? Your boy Heat Override got you when we get to that section there. So is there any other running backs you want to talk about, or you want to flip up?
Yeah, we can in 1 second. But and when I say when I play GPPs, you want to have good running backs. And it's still, you want running backs that are consistent. You want running backs that are going to score 20-some points. I'm not saying some of those others, but I like to pay up. So he's about as high as I'm going to go with Cook this week, even though I am debating Derrick Henry. I'm debating Jonathan Taylor at the 7,500, but we talked about, he's he's right in there. Henry at 7,200, that's cheap, and I'm really debating him because he is 3 fumbles in a row, first time in his career, 3 games in a row he's had 3 fumbles. Maybe the first running back ever. It's crazy. But Williams is a good play. But yeah, I like Taylor possibly, but. Yeah,
I like
those are the ones those are the ones I wanted to talk about. Even though the Rams are the first defense technically, it doesn't really matter in this case because it's a 3-game sample size. And look at Taylor's numbers: 17,
Mm-hmm.
35 DK points last week, 32,
Mm-hmm.
12 week 1, 17. He's got 60 attempts, 330. He's averaging 112 rushing yards a game, 4 touchdowns, and 27 DraftKings points. So again, it's early in the season. Yeah, the Rams have a good defense. Don't get me wrong, and it is on the road. But he's another consistent guy right now, and that's what I like in GPPs. You want high end and you want consistency. So in this case, I may just go ahead and pay up for Cook and Taylor. And if I'm playing Stafford, I'm running Taylor back against Stafford, like we always talked about. Run it back in a GPP. So that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, no, I like it. I totally like it. And we don't really have to get into the Marion Hampton because everybody's going to be on him as well too.
Yeah.
So that's why I said when you get around that 6,000 range, it gets kind of weird. That's why I like Steve saying pay up a little bit, maybe just go to Taylor, try to get that sway, take that chance with a GPP lineup, as opposed to just being safe and playing it with the Kyron Williams and the other people that I'm going to name when it gets to the Ultra Contrarian lineup.
Yeah, and to add to that, you remember, people, in cash games, you're being quote unquote safe. You want to double your money. Maybe you play a triple up. Maybe you play a head to head. Some of the 3-man, these kind of things where you want to quote unquote play it safe. If he doesn't have a 30 points, that's fine. If he gets 15, 20 points, right? But in GPP, you got to go for it. So you can't, yes, you can play value guys. We know that, look at like Hopkins last week for the Ravens, 2 touchdowns, at whatever price he was. But you got to get maximized points, especially from your running back. So you want that high ceiling, in GPPs. And that's, hey, I swear I came in last place in one contest last week because you got to go for it in the GPPs.
Yeah, that's the way it is, man.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's move along. Let's get to the wide receivers. Let's get to it. Look, I know this is going to seem weird. I know this may seem a little cliche, but I'm going to say this right now. This is the week that you play DJ Moore, might I say. He's 5,600 on DraftKings, 6,300 on FanDuel. I have been rolling Roma Dunze this whole time, and now is the time to drop in the DJ Moore drop, the dime, the quarter, the person who's about to slate break. Because when that happens, this way is going to go and change the slate. Everybody's going to be on that game, like I just said, about, with the Caleb Williams stack. They're going to come back in with a Dunze. I also, they might run with Cole Kmet. They might try to pay down at tight end, punt tight end. That's something I like to do as well, too. But I got a couple other plays for that as well, too. What do you got to say?
Well, you're absolutely right. You could play a Dunze again. They're going. Sorry, everybody. I'll try not to do this from my phone next time. But they're going against Vegas, which is like they're not good defensively. And that's something. Hey, we admit our mistakes here on Dr. Roto. It's something I got wrong last week. But I think it's a great play at that 5,600. Again, I think you can play them both. There's some. So I think it's a great play.
It's solid. So like if you want to highlight really of the targets that I'm going to be looking at right now, of course, I'm going to say it. He's going to make one of my lineups. Maybe he made both of his lineups. I said it last week. I said it again this week. I don't even care about his quarterback, CJ Stroud. Nico Collins hit the way he needed to hit. He was like 3% owned. And I told all of you that he was going to smash out. And he's in another great spot this week that people may not be looking at Nico. They're going to go right up to Puka. But with Nico at 7,400, on DraftKings right now, I'm finding it hard to not try to go back to that, knowing that in that game, Tennessee, this game is where the division might end up going. These teams might need to play. This is Houston's get right game. I promise you, Nico Collins is going to score a touchdown in this game.
Yeah, that's a good take. I agree with you. He's priced right. And for a cash game, he's 7,400. It's a little high, but I think it's a safe play against the 28th ranked defense right now against the pass. So that's a great play.
It's to me, I'm going in. I want that play right now because again, it's another sway. Give me that 3, 5, 6% own on a cash game lineup. Allows me to be able to be different on the 50-50s that are all single entry that can cash for us. That's the separation. That's what we're trying to get here. And then again, taking that chance. If you have a little bit of cash and you could get to him, he's worth a play. And you're going to see when I get to one of my Ultra Contrarian lineups that you're going to be like, wait a minute, how did he do that? Well, it's very simple. I'm willing to take the shots or the chances with my Ultra Contrarian lineups. Is there any receivers that you were looking at that you might want to talk about? Maybe somebody like I was looking at like Keenan Allen, of course. I'm not looking so much at, but go on.
Well, no, he's a decent play. One of them is going to be my Fuego pick, which I'm not going to reveal just yet. We're going to make even Heat doesn't even know what it is today. We usually talk about it. Oh, Heat's going to love it. But 7,400. Go ahead, that's fine. You can pay up for him. You could pay up for St. Brown. Neighbors, he's off to a really good start. Well, last week he didn't, but but I probably wouldn't pay for him. What's Flowers going to do? Last week was not good, but the first 2 weeks he had 9 targets and 11, and because it was all Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, came back last week.
Yeah.
But
that's right.
Here's the that's right. Andrews had a great game, man. People.
Oh, he that last touchdown won me some money on the 50-50s. It was even crazier. Like, I don't think a lot of people know. They really need to pay attention to my articles. Like, literally, I only missed one bet yesterday. I hit the Dermicado and Charbonnet parlay touchdown. And I know there's no expert out there that gave you Dermicado. So let me just brush that dirt off my shoulder right there. Yeah, right? And also, I am a killer for the first quarter parlays. Hit another one yesterday, hit another one on Monday, hit another one last Thursday. On Sunday, I'm just hitting it out. It doesn't matter what happens at Dr. Roto. Doesn't need to stay at Dr. Roto. Join today, people. Get this money, yo.
Yes, that's right. But I'm going to talk about a receiver that I think is going to be super highly owned, and that's way okay. It's way okay. Mike Evans out. Mike Evans out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Godwin is questionable to come back this week. I don't know if he comes back, how effective he's even going to be. It's Emeka Egbuka. You got to play him. He has 14 targets for his first 3 games. He's a rookie, 181 yards and 3 touchdowns. He scored 2 touchdowns week 1, 1 touchdown in the second week. He had, again, 14 targets, and that's with Evans in there. You know what I'm saying? But now you have. Hold on.
Well, dude, I'll fill you in.
So I think
you like, come on, man. Who knows Sterling Shepard? He is the most boring player. If you play Sterling Shepard, I hope you get 1 catch, 7 yards, and touchdown. That's all you're getting. I don't really care. Like, Cade Otton might step up, but I'm just not concerned of it. Get the ball to Bucky Irving. Get the ball to our guy Ibuke, and let's make Steve look like let's make him our rich friend.
Yeah, we're going to make all of you our rich friends. And listen to this. He is going to be highly owned because we talked about him week 1, we talked about him week 2, and we said they were going to try to get him the ball. He is a fantastic rookie. Who now you got to remember, Mike Evans is one of the greatest receivers ever, in my opinion, and probably most people. You're talking a Hall of Fame receiver who's lining up on the other side. So now the only thing I'm worried about is maybe him getting double teamed a little, but I don't think it matters. He is a superstar. He's going to be a superstar in this league. Get him. He's going to be highly owned, and that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Just plug and play. Sometimes you got to eat the chalk. You got to eat the chalk. So in
That's
Steve's
right.
case, he's just going to eat the chalk on this one. But I will tell you, when we get to the Ultra Contrarian lineup, we'll have a receiver that we did not mention, talk about that. Let's move along to tight end. Man, I'll tell you right now, I've been running this train all weekend long. Now everybody's going to be on Washington because it's a great play. But I'm going back to Brenton Strange. He got 6 targets last time. That's all I need for somebody that's super cheap right now. And Strange is back to 3,200 on DraftKings. He is 5,100 on FanDuel. I love $5,000 range on FanDuel for my tight ends. He is right there. Now, if you want a little lean, on the tight ends, and I'll let you take this off. Tyler Conklin at 2,700 is going to be super sneaky. The Giants are right around 19th rank against the tight end. Conklin's being able to step in without Disley in the way. This may allow him to get 3 to 4 targets. If we can get 2 catches, 1 touchdown to 2,700 at under 1% owned, maybe 2% owned. I'm going to go under 1%. I don't think anybody's going to be rolling the TC, babe. Right? We're going to be rolling. Yeah.
That's
right.
That's
We're
right.
rolling it. So what do you think about the tight ends, brother, man? What do you think about those plays?
Well, you got me on Strange. We've been talking about him since week 1. 4 targets. Well, week 2 he had 5 targets, and last week he had 6 receptions on 7 targets and 12.1 DraftKings points. And so at that price, at 3,200 is a great play. I'm not sure I would go down. I know Disley's out, but maybe that is a good play. I'm not. It certainly frees up another $500. Because if you go Strange, let's say I did go down to Conklin, at 2,700 in my lineup, it would free up $500. So that's a great play. I like it a lot, but I like Strange. Schultz is in that range too. Again, he's kind of he's still getting the target. He's got 11 targets through 3 games, which is pretty good. Is Likely back? I don't think so. It's like he's still questionable. So I wouldn't play Likely. You could now if you want to pay up. You could go. I think you could go back to Andrews. I think he could have a good game. Laporta could have a decent game. Bowers, he's great, but I don't think you have to pay that much. He's 5,800 on.
So what do you think? We got a question in the chat right now.
All right.
Hector asked, "How do you feel about David Njoku?" I will answer this quickly and fast, and I will put it back onto you because I know that you really liked Njoku a couple weeks ago. So I love Njoku as a play. 3,800 on DraftKings. I actually had some extra money, and I was playing around with a little bit of the defenses, so I was popping down on there, and it led right to Njoku. And how do you not? That's targets. So I was like, okay, do I want to lean this way? Do I want to lean that way? So that was where I started playing with some of the quarterbacks, and I said, all right, I'm going to play this lineup and this lineup. So, yes,
it's a good question.
I feel strong about him. So how do you feel about Njoku?
I like him too. You could play him in GPPs. You could play him in cash. He's got 7 targets, 5 targets, 6 targets, or 12 targets. Again, people, when we're talking targets for tight ends, you're talking not unless you're the high end target.
2 to 3.
If you get 4, a game. So when you're talking receivers, you want those guys getting 7, 8, 9, those targets. But when you're talking, he's got 12 targets, 117 yards, and he's going against Detroit, who is not very good against the tight end. They're not very good defense. I mean, they're good, and they probably should be back. But I think he's a great play there. At 3,800 on DraftKings for sure. But I think for GPP purposes, I might just stick with Strange for right now.
Yeah, and I like that. And I'll throw this in to everybody, and this is another 6 targets. This was another guy that seemed to win us some bets and some parlays last week on another article, a familiar article, the Hetastic Bets of the Day article was Noah Gray, 2,700 as well, too. Man, you know that Noah Gray is a big part of the Chiefs. Now, Worthy coming back, we'll talk all about that in a second because we did talk. We talked a little bit about, a lot of people may be moving up to Worthy. They want to see if he's on a snap count. He may not be. Maybe this is where we go Hollywood Brown, but we're kind of past that point. But yeah. I do like the sway to. I like the sway to Gray on that as well too because that gives you somebody. People, we're trying to give you cheap tight ends. Njoku is due for a touchdown right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and like I said, if what I said before, if you freed up that $500 from I forgot what I said before, then you could go up from Strange to the Joker if you feel like it.
Exactly. No, you're correct. You're correct. Right.
Right.
All right. Let's move to defenses. I'm telling you right now, I simply love these guys. They can definitely get it done. They're coming off a pretty ho-hum game, and that's going to be the Chargers. Chargers at 3,300 on DraftKings and 4,000 on FanDuel. Now, DraftKings 3,300 is a little expensive. I got another defense for that. It's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, I said the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I like the Jaguars. I like them.
2,500.
Yes.
But I was sitting there, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are like 3,800 on FanDuel, and then the Rams are 3,900, and I'm like, ooh. And then I saw the Chargers at 4,000. How can you think that you have a home game? Jackson Dart, a rookie, is stepping in against one of the better defenses in this league. If he makes 1 to 2 wrong decisions, he's going to get down and he's going to get trounced. If they get behind, and I do feel the Giants will get behind, maybe there'll be some garbage points for Neighbors and Dart at the end. I have the Chargers winning this game. I have the Chargers defense at least scoring above 5 DFS points. It's a nice sway. You're probably looking at them being 20% or less owned, but the 4,000 on FanDuel is so well worth it. But that's okay. So if you need the extra money, you'll fly down to that. Outside of defenses, I already gave you the Jags, 2,500 on DK. What are you looking at, Steve?
Well, so, we didn't talk about Mariota replacing Daniels last week. He had a pretty good game.
He did.
But he did. But, is he, and we're talking about paying down. Remember, if you paid attention, if you watched us the first few games, I always talk about paying down for defense. I originally went with the Jacksonville, which you absolutely can play Jacksonville. You can absolutely play them. I know the Bills are expensive, 3,700 on DraftKings. You don't need to play them. You don't need to play the Ravens defense. They're expensive. Now these are teams that can score points and are good defenses. And everyone knows I'm a homer. The Ravens defense will probably get better as the season goes on, just like it did last year. They've had some bad luck.
Usually do.
Yep. And
they played some good teams.
Yeah, I mean, my friend asked me how come the Ravens have such a hard schedule this year. I go, well, when you come in first place in the division, you play first place in the division team. So if you weren't aware of that, that's how the NFL works. And I'm like, so they have a really hard schedule. They've had some bad luck. They've had some mental lapses and whatever. But I don't think you need to pay up. And will they have good games this year? Absolutely. But you don't. You don't need. I can't even remember how much they.
I mean, Houston probably at 3,400 would be the safest. Of course, we already know, as I already said, and I've.
Oh no, the Ravens. I'm sorry, they were 2,700. So definitely don't pay up for the Ravens. But I meant the Lions were 3,500. You don't need to pay up. You don't need to pay up for the Texans in GPP. Sorry, but I wouldn't pay for the Ravens at 2,700 either. At least just yet. But I kind of like, back to what I was saying. I kind of like the Falcons. I like the Falcons at 2,700. At home versus Mariota. They have 2 interceptions on the year, 3 defensive fumble recoveries, and 8 sacks. I think for now, I'm going to go Falcons. At 2,700.
I like it. There's nothing wrong with that pick at all. Actually, I want to say in the Dr. Roto Staff League, one of the experts went and picked up the Falcons defense today as a play. So that's just what we got. That's what we're looking at. Go on.
And if you're playing Robinson, like we said, you can keep playing. I don't think we've recommended him this week, but you pair him up with the Atlanta defense. It's now Mariota's going on the road at Atlanta. He's a fine quarterback, but he's older. He's no Jaden Daniels, that's for sure.
Nope.
And I think the defense could get a pick. They could get a fumble. They could get some sacks, and they're that $2,700 as opposed to paying $37 for the Bills.
And this is a get right game for them. This is a get right game because they just got punked, literally, but got punked by the Carolina Panthers. And Bijan Robinson scores that touchdown. He cashes a 7-leg parlay touchdown parlay leg I had and wins a lot of money for, heat override. But that's being said, we're going to get to it. Let's get to the end part of the show. Steve, it's that time. Go ahead, give out your core four leading into your Fuego pick of this week. But before your Fuego pick of the week, I'll have a song for you. So go ahead and give me your core four.
My core four on DraftKings, mind you. Now, again, remember, I play all the other sites sometimes. You can hit me up with other questions for the other sites. You can hit me up with pick six questions. I might be playing some pick six. So look for Discord in the, look at a Discord. I might be playing Underdog. I know, and everyone's in different states, and certain people can play this, and certain people can play that. But, we didn't talk much about the betting stuff, but you can ask all of that stuff in the Dr. Roto Discord. But, so you asked me, I believe, who my Fuego pick of the week is. Is that correct?
I said who your Fuego pick is, but who are your core four leading up to the Fuego pick?
Yes. You're going to love my Fuego pick. So this is on DraftKings. My core four.
Yeah.
Stafford. Well, yeah, we're going to go Stafford at quarterback. Mm-hmm. We're going to go Cook at running back. Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to go Egbuka. Okay. At wide receiver. And then I think you want to I'm going to run it back with Taylor. So if you're playing a GPP, in my particular DraftKings lineup right now, I got Stafford, Cook, Taylor, Egbuka. All high-priced players. Well, not Stafford. Stafford's medium. But you pair him up with what's going to be you're going to love. Cook, Taylor, Egbuka are all, they may be highly owned. I don't think Taylor's going to be as highly owned against, Stafford. But they're consistent. You want those 20-plus points on DraftKings. Mm-hmm. So my core four, Stafford, Cook, Taylor, Egbuka is my core four.
I love it. Let's do it. Are you ready? You ready for the Fuego pick of this week? Let's do it. Uh-oh.
If you've been paying attention, so far, my man Heat loves this guy. I love this guy. It's hard not to love this guy. He is so good. He's so young. Keep watching him. You want to guess?
It's Kyron Williams.
No. Who am I pairing?
Puka!
Yes. Who am I pairing with Stafford? That's right. That's right, people. Now listen, if you've been paying attention, this guy is so freaking good. Okay. He is the highest priced on the main slate. And that's a reason. He's probably priced too low at $7,900 on DraftKings. He has 20 now. This is where we were talking about the targets and receptions. 29 receptions, 333 yards, which is 111 yards a game. He only has one touchdown, so watch out. And he's averaging 26 and a half DraftKings points with only one touchdown through 3 games. Listen to these targets. 11, 9, and 15 last week. 15 targets? Are you kidding me? And he caught 11 of them. He caught 11 of the 15 targets. This guy is so, look how excited I'm getting, right? I knew you'd love it. I knew you had already guessed too. But this guy is amazing. You've got to watch this guy play. He is amazing. I'm getting chills just
good.
He is so good. And I mean, look at these DraftKings points. 25 and a half, 27 and a half, 26. He's averaging 26 and a half with one touchdown. And he's playing Indianapolis. So in my lineup, right, we already talked about running it back. Mm-hmm. I'm playing Taylor already. So I'm running it back with Stafford, Nakua. If I'm wrong this week, people, please tell me. But he is going to continue. He is going to have a phenomenal year.
Dude, he's going to have a phenomenal year, but I'm going to check something. But I'm really, really 100% sure that Kenny Moore II is out in this game. and I know he was hurt, and I saw the doubtful tag on him, and I don't think he's completely out. So now that secondary is either going to be manhandled by Puka Nacua or Devonta Adams. They're going to be manhandled by both. It showed last week that the Rams were able to manhandle the Eagles secondary. And you think that the battered and beaten Colts secondary is going to be able to handle the Rams right now? With coming off of that embarrassing double block return touchdown, should have beat the Super Bowl champion Eagles.
That's right.
It's not happening, people. The Rams are going to run through the Colts.
And mark my word.
What's up?
Yeah, mark my words. That 7,900 on DraftKings is going to keep going up and up and up. He's going to be within a few weeks. He's going to be almost 9,000, I think, because he's just going to keep scoring. I mean, he's going to keep scoring the fantasy points. And again, he only has one touchdown, so he breaks one here, he breaks one there. All of a sudden, he's scoring 30-some fantasy points a game.
Yeah, and you're at 79. You're at 100 right now on DK. I mean, honestly, he should be. You're right. He should be around 9,000. He should be the Jamar. Well, around the Jamar Chase is around 8,500. They see maybe playing with them. He should be 8,500. But exactly. That's that price. I love it.
And we talked about this early in the year. Maybe the algorithms haven't adjusted. Maybe whoever, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at a 11-game slate, I think it's 11 game, 11 or 12 game, 11, or maybe that's the whatever early games. But
it's 11.
Yeah, right. Okay, it's 11-game slate. The highest and best wide receiver is normally over $8,000. You're right. A guy that's averaging 26.5 points is probably, you could argue, the best receiver in the league right now. You could argue that.
Yeah.
I mean, people would say Chase. You could argue that too. But you could also argue that Nacua is the best receiver in the league.
He truly is. And this is what I'm saying. This is what people like Patrick Mahomes or like Lamar Jackson need. They need a Puka Nacua. That's what the Eagles have in A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. And people can brag and they can hate all they want on Smith. But guess what? The fact that you have that talent with Saquon Barkley and Dallas Goedert and Jalen Hurts, we said this week one, that is too much talent to deal with sometimes at some points. And that's what the Rams, I mean, at 9,400 on FanDuel, at least they got it right. He's $100 cheaper than Jonathan Taylor. Whereas Jonathan Taylor isn't even the most expensive running back because they're playing the Rams. So that's where you're able to find the DK value for the GPP plays. Do you have a lineup for us, Steve?
Well, yeah, I do. And just to reiterate, before we get to it, and I know we're going a little long here, if McCaffrey is 8,500, if Robinson is 8,200, and you're talking, McCaffrey is McCaffrey, Robinson, best running back in the league, arguably, Gibbs, amazing running back, Barkley, amazing running back, Henry, all these guys, and so he's priced higher than them, okay, which is fair, but you don't think he should be the same as McCaffrey? You know what I'm saying? Like, Gibbs 70, and he is higher. But anyway, I just say Nacua it's a great price and expected to be, if he has a good game this week, which he should, expected to be around 8,500 next week. And so here we go. My DraftKings. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me throw this in there. That's because they're watching us and they're gonna be like, let's get our numbers right, because Heat Override and Fuego Steve call us out on bring the pain. Oh yeah. Hit it, Steve. Tell them your lineup and we're getting to the Ultra Contrarians.
All right. So here we go. Now this is DraftKings. Again, you can hit me up with any other questions about anything on football, WNBA tomorrow. But here we go. Stafford, Cook, Taylor, Igbukwa. My core four right there, paying up for all of them. Well, again, not for Stafford. Nacua at 7,900. I'm going. I think you're going to talk about this guy. Washington. We got Parker Washington on the Jaguars. He had 11 targets last week. 11. Now he only caught 4, but that's okay. When we talk about targets, 11 targets is huge. He had 5, but the week before he had 5 catches for 12 DK points. I think
Yeah.
I like him, but that's what I have for right now. I have Strange, I have the Falcons defense, and the flex is where pay attention to Discord. This is where I may be subject to change, but right now I got Hollywood Brown against the Ravens, his former team.
Yeah.
We talked, but we already talked about how the Ravens defense is not doing well right now. They can give up the big plays. It's at home in Kansas City. You already talked about Mahomes. Hollywood Brown, I think that 1 week, he yes, I think he's gonna have a good game. But pay attention, Discord, just in case I change that. But that's my lineup for GPP. We got a lot of high priced players in there. We got a lot of high priced players, and those are the guys that can get you the 20, 30 points a game. And then we got a couple value guys in there, and that's my lineup.
I love it, man.
Draft
That's amazing.
It's so amazing that the Macho Man Randy Savage showed up. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I'm getting better at it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you gotta drink some milk and get the gritty going.
Yeah. I get it back to a Slim Jim.
Let's get to it. Let's get to the Ultra Contrarian Lineups. Oh yeah. We're gonna hit up DK first. Look, I didn't want to run him back, but I'm gonna run him back. Steve's all against him with the Atlanta train, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take this chance. There was some moving in this lineup because once you see the receivers, you'll understand what happened and why I went down to him. Mariota, James Cook, Kyron Williams, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Quentin Johnston. Oh, yeah. 5,500. Like you giving me that? That boy is catching some balls out there. And he's going to get some damage done this week. Watch it. 15 points every week. All we need is that 100 plus, the touchdown. He's got the skills. Brenton Strange, Tony Pollard. Y'all forgot about Tony Pollard?
Oh, we didn't mention him.
We didn't have to. He's on the Ultra Contrarian lineup for a reason because Tony Pollard is the way you get your rookie quarterback right. If you don't use Tony Pollard in this smash spot right here, I don't know, but he's going to get 20 carries. He's going to get around 70 to 80 yards. Let's get 3-4 catches, 20 yards, over 100 yards average, get one touchdown. He's at 5,600, I think he is at right now. On DK, that is a smash spot. Of course, Jags defense, $100 left. That's your DK lineup. Let's roll over to...
Let me just interrupt before you get to your next one.
I broke your mind on that one.
No, I love it. Number one, I love it. But it's not that I'm against Mariota per se. I don't think he's a GPP play. So remember, Heat's giving you cash plays. I'm giving you GPP plays. And I think that he is a safer. He is a veteran. He can get those points in cash games. So I just wanted to point that out. Continue.
Well, you're right, though. On DK, he's definitely worth playing. On FanDuel, he's actually priced. There's a couple starters underneath him. You might want to sway to those guys other than being on Mariota again. Look, people, let's just really call it what it is. You can't get in bed with Mariota that much time before you get something bad happens to you. And this is not what we want, people. We got to get out. But, man, I'm going to do it this week just so I could get Amon-Ra St. Brown in.
Exactly, and I think it's a fine cash game play, absolutely. And I'm looking at it from the GPP standpoint. He's not going to get you 30 points, I don't think. Nope. And he's not going to get you 30. And that's why I'm looking at it with the different. Remember, pay attention, guys, because you can play cash games, you can play GPPs. Me and Heat, we're like this,
Yeah.
So pay attention. Go ahead, Heat.
That's how we do it. All right, let's run. Well, before we say that, too, I do want to say we had a few compliments on the show. So I do want to say it. Danger came through, and he said he really loves what we're doing. He loves the chemistry. Before, I used to run through the show in 5 to 7 minutes. Now, with you, you've been able to give it a lot more context. We get into the little discussions a little more.
Maybe too much.
Angle to it. So I wanted to say thank you for expanding the show and being able to come on and put up with all of the energy, because that's what we do. Oh, yeah. Now we're ready for the FanDuel lineup, people?
Let's hear it. Let's do it.
This one's completely different. Caleb Williams, Kyron Williams, James Cook, Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Quintus Johnson, Brenton Strange, got Tony Pollard, Chargers defense, $200 left over. What do you think about that one? That was the other play. I was going to play Williams. I had Moore in, But then I saw that you can't get the Amon-Ra St. Brown on FanDuel. I could get the Amon-Ra St. Brown and Nico Collins, and I felt like having both those receivers on DK was good. Going over to FanDuel, making that more cash. What do you think, bro?
I absolutely like it. And St. Brown, you could probably play in a GPP too. I love that guy. He's really good. But that's a great lineup, and I love it. Remember, just to add a little quick strategy before we get out of here. You play cash games to help build your bankroll to play GPPs. Okay? This is how it works. You take the safe plays. You get in those, what we talked about earlier, those 50-50s.
Right.
You double your money. You know what I'm saying? He is awesome at getting you that doubling your money, tripling your money, that kind of thing. And then you take that, you enter the qualifiers if you have not much, but if you want a chance in a live final, but then you enter the Millie Maker, or you enter, like I'd like to do, the single entries. Read those articles on our site. Single entries, 3 entry max, maybe even the 10 entry max, and throw in a couple, throw your 3 in a 10 entry max, something like that. But you take Heath's lineup, you build the bankroll, and then you go for the big bucks.
That's what we do, man. That's what we do with Dr. Roto, man. Another great show. Right now, we got the UFC coverage on. Get into Dr. Roto right now because I want to go in there and throw some bets down. We got the main event coming up very soon. Olberg versus Reyes. I know I'm speaking a little bit of a different language, but, man, Steve knows the fire that we've been throwing in that subcourt, in the Discord on that. So I love it, man. Thanks again for coming on, buddy, man.
You got it. You got to get in Discord. Ask me questions. WNBA tomorrow, I think.
Have a great day, everybody. And always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, so let's get to it.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.